Secrets of the most haunted castles. Every haunted castle has a story. But what if the ghost stories aren't the scariest part? What if the true stories are worse? Tonight, we're uncovering the real-life betrayals and brutal murders that turned these magnificent fortresses into five-star resorts for the undead.
These ghosts didn't just appear out of thin air. They were forged in the fires of history. We're pulling back the veil of legend to reveal the dark events that gave rise to these paranormal residents. We're not just listing ghosts. We're digging up their graves to find out how they got there. From vicious family feuds to politically motivated executions, the stones of these castles remember everything. And tonight, they're going to share their secrets.
Leap Castle.
Our first stop is Ireland's most haunted castle, Leap Castle. Originally built by the O'Bannon clan, it was taken over by the notoriously violent O'Carroll clan, and that's when its bloody legacy really began. The O'Carrolls had a nasty habit of solving family disputes with daggers and swords, and their most infamous act took place in the room now known as the Bloody Chapel.
Legend says that after a clan chieftain died, a fierce rivalry for leadership exploded between two brothers. One brother, a priest, started to celebrate Mass to assert his claim. Taking this as a profound insult, the other brother stormed into the chapel and plunged his sword into the priest's back, murdering him on the altar in front of their family. It's said the spirit of that murdered priest still haunts the chapel, a permanent stain on the castle's. Next, we head to England, to a castle with a chilling reputation for violence, Chillingham Castle. As a 12th century fortress on England's northern border, it was the first line of defense against Scottish armies for centuries, and its dungeons became a place of unimaginable suffering. During the wars against Scotland, anyone suspected of being an enemy could be brought here for interrogation, which usually meant torture. The castle dungeon even has a floor that slopes to allow blood to drain. Moosham Castle. From a bloody border in England, we travel to the heart of Austria, to a castle where fear wasn't just a weapon of war, but of so-called justice. Welcome to Moosham Castle, better known by its chilling nickname, the Witch's Castle. Few castles can claim to be the administrative center for one of Europe's most brutal witch trials. Between 1675 and 1690, Moosham Castle was the epicenter of the Salzburg witch trials, also known as the Zaubererjackel trials. The hysteria began with the hunt for a man named Jacob Kohler, or Wizard Jackel, who was accused of having a pact with the devil. Although Jackel was never caught, the paranoia he inspired led to the mass arrest of homeless men, drifters, and children accused of being his followers. In total, 139 people were executed. Of those, 113 were male. They were subjected to horrific torture within Moosham's walls before being executed. The castle's dungeons and torture chamber are said to echo with the whispers of the accused. As if that wasn't enough, in the 1800s, the castle became the center of werewolf hunts after a series of mysterious cattle deaths, leading to even more paranoia and executions. Château de Brissac. Not all hauntings are born from mass hysteria. Sometimes, all it takes is a single passionate act of betrayal. Our journey now takes us to France and the elegant Château de Brissac in the Loire Valley. As the tallest chateau in the country, its beauty hides a brutal secret. The legend dates to the 15th century and centers on the castle's owner, Jacques de Brissac, and his wife, Charlotte de Brissac, who was the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII. Trapped in a loveless marriage, Charlotte began an affair. One night, her husband discovered her with her lover in one of the tower rooms. Consumed by a jealous rage, Jacques murdered them both. Ever since, Charlotte's spirit has been unable to rest. She is known as La Dame Verte, or the Green Lady, for the green dress she is often seen wearing. She haunts the chapel's tower room where she met her end, and her mournful cries are often heard in the early morning. But it's her appearance that is truly terrifying. Witnesses describe a sorrowful figure with a decomposing face, with gaping black holes where her eyes and nose should be. The current owners, descendants of the Brissac family, have grown accustomed to her presence, but for visitors, the sight of the Green Lady is a horrifying reminder of a violent betrayal. Edinburgh Castle. Our final secret is buried deep beneath the stones of Scotland's most famous fortress. Perched atop an extinct volcano, Edinburgh Castle has served as a royal residence, a military garrison, and a prison for over 1,000 years. Its history is long and bloody, but one of its most tragic tales is of a woman executed, not for a crime she committed, but for the family she belonged to. Her name was Janet Douglas, Lady Glamis. While connected by title to Glamis Castle, her tragic end unfolded right here at Edinburgh Castle in 1537. She became a target of the paranoid King James V, who hated the Douglas clan after his stepfather, a Douglas, had imprisoned him during his youth. Desperate to destroy the family, the king accused Janet of treason, claiming she conspired to poison him. The charges were baseless, and the evidence was extracted from her servants under torture. Despite her impeccable character, she was found guilty. But she wasn't granted a noble's death by beheading. In a final act of cruelty, King James V sentenced her to be burned at the stake on the castle esplanade, a horrifying spectacle for the public to witness. Since her execution, the ghost of a gray lady has been seen wandering the castle's corridors and chapel. This sorrowful figure is believed to be the spirit of Janet Douglas, eternally searching for justice. Her haunting is a somber reminder that sometimes the most monstrous acts are not committed by ghosts, but by kings. From tragic love affairs to brutal betrayals, the stones of these castles hold the echoes of their dark pasts. The ghosts that wander these halls are not just stories. They are the imprints of real lives cut short by greed, revenge, and paranoia. They are the terrifying and tragic secrets of history. It makes you wonder, what secrets are being sealed into the walls